Few bands have shaped rock music as profoundly as Led Zeppelin. Their ability to blend blues, hard rock, and folk created a sound that was powerful, distinctive, and timeless. But how exactly did they do it? Let's break it down. Led Zeppelin was formed in London, England, in 1968. The band's origins trace back to the Yardbirds, a British rock group that featured Jimmy Page as their guitarist. When the Yardbirds disbanded, Page was left with contractual obligations to fulfill tour dates. He decided to form a new band and began searching for musicians. Page first recruited John Paul Jones, a seasoned session musician and bassist from England, whom he knew from previous studio work. Through recommendations, he found Robert Plant, a young but powerful singer from the English Midlands, and Plant, in turn, introduced drummer John Bonham, known for his thunderous playing. Initially, they performed as the new Yardbirds to complete the unfinished tour dates, but they soon rebranded as Led Zeppelin after a joke from The Who's Keith Moon, who suggested their music would go down like a lead balloon. Page tweaked the name, dropping the A from lead to avoid mispronunciation. In 1969, they released their self-titled debut album, blending blues, hard rock, and folk influences. The album was a massive success, marking the beginning of their dominance in rock music throughout the 1970s. At its core, Led Zeppelin's music was deeply rooted in the blues. Jimmy Page, a former session musician, took inspiration from legends like Muddy Waters, Robert Johnson, and Howlin' Wolf, reinterpreting their raw energy into something heavier and more electrifying. He was fascinated by the haunting slide guitar of Elmore James and the raw, expressive vocals of the Delta blues greats. Songs like You Shook Me and I Can't Quit You Baby showcase Zeppelin's blues influence, featuring slow, bending guitar notes, wailing harmonicas, and deeply expressive vocal lines. But Zeppelin didn't just copy the blues, they amplified it, infusing it with an unprecedented level of power and raw emotion. They sped up traditional blues structures, added crushing guitar distortion, and emphasized dynamic shifts that could go from a whisper to an explosion within seconds. Robert Plant's vocals carry the spirit of blues storytelling, often echoing themes of love, loss, and redemption, but with an electrifying intensity. Meanwhile, John Bonham's drumming brought a relentless, pounding energy that elevated blues rhythms into something more forceful and primal. John Paul Jones' bass work and keyboard arrangements provided the perfect foundation, giving their sound an added richness and complexity. Led Zeppelin's approach to the blues wasn't just about playing the music, it was about reimagining it for a new generation of rock fans. While blues gave Led Zeppelin their foundation, hard rock made them legends. Jimmy Page's guitar riffs, combined with John Bonham's explosive drumming, created a heavier, more aggressive sound than anything that had come before. Tracks like Whole Lotta Love and Immigrant Song were filled with powerful distortion, pounding rhythms, and high-energy vocals. This wasn't just rock, it was the blueprint for what would become heavy metal. They pushed the limits of volume, distortion, and speed, influencing bands like Black Sabbath, Metallica, and Guns N' Roses. The sheer force of Bonham's drumming, combined with Plant's wailing vocals and Page's innovative use of the guitar, made Zeppelin one of the most intense live acts of their era. Their impact on metal was undeniable. Without Zeppelin, heavy metal as we know it might not exist. Unlike many bands of their time, Led Zeppelin wasn't focused on radio-friendly singles. They emphasized the power of full albums, creating immersive musical journeys rather than standalone hits. Albums like Led Zeppelin IV and Physical Graffiti were crafted as cohesive works of art, setting the stage for album-oriented rock. Their music was designed to be experienced as a whole, with deep cuts like The Battle of Evermore and 10 Years Gone, carrying just as much weight as their biggest hits. This approach inspired future artists to think beyond the 3-minute song format and embrace the storytelling aspect of music. Their influence paved the way for progressive rock bands like Pink Floyd and Rush, as well as later alternative and indie rock artists. Led Zeppelin's live performances were nothing short of legendary. They pushed the boundaries of what a rock concert could be, turning each show into an electrifying spectacle. Their improvisational style meant that no two performances were the same, with songs stretching into extended jam sessions. Shows like their 1973 Madison Square Garden concert and their 1979 Nebworth performance became the stuff of legend. Their use of massive sound systems, psychedelic lighting, and raw stage presence helped redefine live music. This approach influenced the future of live rock performances, setting the standard for arena rock acts like Queen, AC/DC, and U2. Their stage presence, light shows, and extended solos helped create the blueprint for modern rock concerts. Jimmy Page wasn't just a phenomenal guitarist, he was a visionary producer. In the studio, he experimented with new recording techniques, such as mic placement to capture depth, reverse echo effects, and layering multiple guitar tracks to create a richer sound. Tracks like When the Levee Breaks showcased his ability to turn the studio into an instrument, influencing generations of producers. The band used dynamic range in a way few others did, with tracks shifting from soft acoustic moments to thunderous, full-band explosions. Page's studio genius, combined with John Paul Jones' intricate arrangements and Bonham's masterful drumming, made each album a groundbreaking achievement. Their studio experimentation laid the groundwork for the sonic landscapes of future rock and metal bands. Led Zeppelin's impact didn't end in the 70s. Their music continues to inspire generations of musicians, from classic rock bands to modern hard rock and metal acts. Their fearless experimentation, larger-than-life performances, and commitment to artistic integrity made them one of the most influential bands in history. From grunge to alternative rock, elements of Zeppelin's sound can be heard in countless modern bands. Artists like the White Stripes, Foo Fighters, and even hip-hop producers have drawn inspiration from Zeppelin's music. Their influence stretches beyond music, shaping pop culture, fashion, and even the way concerts are produced today. Led Zeppelin changed the game. Their fusion of blues, rock, and folk, combined with groundbreaking studio techniques and unforgettable live performances, left a permanent mark on the music world. What's your favorite Led Zeppelin moment? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more legendary rock stories. This is Rock Fame Diaries. Rock on. God bless.
There's a lady who's sure all that glitters is gold.